What's up, guys? I haven't made a video in a while, my bad. So this one, it's been really busy, but this video I'm going to do updates of what's been happening here, if anybody wants to hear that. And then like some things that we learned last year doing it with the intent of making it an actual business and the intent of doing it, you know, full time. So that perspective, and then things that I think are valuable that would help a lot of you guys out if you're wanting to get into this. I'm gonna open these tunnels here while I'm talking about this because it was 35 this morning and raining, so they're shut. And I was out harvesting carrots in the rain. Glad that's done. Yeah, so we went from one market and restaurant orders and stuff like that to doing 2 markets that are both year-round, so we could start building a customer base there. We don't really, it's hard to plan what's gonna happen, so I wish I would have planned double the amount that I did, and it's basically 4 of these plots basically. So but we're also winter, so like everything is stagnant right now. It's just kind of there, not really growing much. That's part of that game. With those 2 markets and our restaurant relationships, we've been able to sell just about everything. Some things, not all of them, like didn't sell the turnips, didn't sell the watermelon radishes, they didn't really sell at all. But carrots, salad mix, arugula, blah blah blah, spinach, all that stuff selling extremely well. That part is hopeful that, you know, it'll turn into something more, provided that we bring value to the customer and blah 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 and have quality stuff. And yeah, that's good. So every Saturday I go to Charlotte and Tori goes to Hickory, and those are the 2 markets we sell at. The Honey Hog restaurant, that if you guys have been following, and thanks for subscribing and stuff, I didn't realize there was like 13,500 subscribers. I didn't even look at that stuff really, so that was, I was actually like looking at YouTube like, man, I need to make a video, it's been a long time. And then I was like, oh, I really need to make one. So yeah, that's cool. But the Honey Hog, their business is growing fast, they're expanding, and their demand to buy produce and things from us is also getting bigger. So like this tunnel is all their collards. They go through a lot of collards every week. It's a barbecue restaurant, and a lot of salad mix every week. So like this bed over here, this salad, like that was cut last week, this will be cut this week. Just staggering everything out so we can keep it going. But yeah, that's been good, and it's still going, and next year with them is going to be even crazier because they're opening another restaurant. It's a fried chicken concept, but they're still going to have salads, cabbage for coleslaw, and onions and other things like that. The other thing is I turned 30 the first week in November, and then the next week I started getting this really bad shoulder pain, and it kept getting worse and worse and worse. I couldn't even like tie my shoes. If I coughed, it hurt like extremely bad, and I was like, all right, this is messed up. So I went to a chiropractor, and he was like feeling my shoulder and stuff, and yeah, anyways, I got an x-ray, and it turns out I have a birth defect in my spine, like right here. And all those years of physical labor, landscaping, climbing trees, all the dumb stuff I did as a kid, skateboarding, jumping off bridges into the water, blah blah blah, completely wore out that one spot where it didn't form all the way. So I have arthritis already there. It's like the disc is wore out like almost all the way, and then the nerve, it's like smashing the nerve, so that's where the pain comes from. It's been getting better, and I think it's been I don't know, 8 weeks now, but I've been going to the chiropractor for like 6 or 7 of them, 3 times a week. And yeah, but I did help my neighbor cut a tree down yesterday, and it hurt a little bit, but nowhere near as bad as before, like where you can't even bend over, or like even just standing there it hurt. But yeah, I gotta be mindful of that, take it easy. I haven't done like any work out here you know, like barely anything. Like some Sundays I would do stuff with Tori, but I mean, it's just most of my time was spent harvesting so that we could keep going to the markets and, you know, be there and be reliable to people. So yeah, it's been interesting, but probably not gonna go hard on anything until the spring when I need to, because it was really bad pain. Like you couldn't do anything. So that's an awesome way to turn 30, and I guess it's kind of a blessing that I found out when I'm 30, but it's also because I wore it out by the time I turned 30, basically. So now I can at least be mindful about it for the rest of my life, and hopefully never need surgery or any of that crap. And I had brought up before that our well was crappy, and it is still crappy, but we did apply for a well grant, and they said we got accepted. What that means, I'm not totally sure, but it means that we can get some funding, I think, to dig another well. And yeah, that's cool, but we'll see where that goes. And yeah, that's nice, because we need it, you know, really to produce enough to make a living. We kind of need another water source because ours is so weak at 2 gallons a minute. Alright, gonna do the lessons here. So I wrote some of them down. Number 1 is relationships matter. So that would be your restaurant relationships, your relationships at the market, with your customers. That's the kind of thing that will move through uneven times. I could go deeper into that, but just for the sake of not making this video super long of just me talking about stuff, just think about that. And it's expensive, and like money and mental requirements, like you gotta think about stuff all the time. Like if it's raining and you're not here, you gotta like look at the radar and be like, oh, is it raining? Have to go back and close the tunnels so the tomatoes don't get water on their foliage, things like that. Or if it was really windy last night, so I went out, or not last night, it was really windy the other night, so I went out twice to check the tunnels, make sure the plastic's alright. You know, super cold wind, midnight, 2 in the morning. It's just the way it is. There's so many things to think about, like almost everything goes into it. It's more than just selling stuff at a market or selling stuff to restaurants. It's kind of a big thing, at least in my opinion. Being patient. I'm an impatient person, so I should have built a nursery or like a place to actually really start seeds, and didn't, and that was kind of the worst thing that I didn't do last year. Marketing is just as important as growing the vegetables, and marketing goes a lot of different ways. Marketing, or your brand, or your business, or your reputation, is in real life, on the internet, all those things. Like, and the other thing, technology matters with this stuff. Like, even making this video now, it just does. Like, technology's not going away anytime soon. So to have some dogma against the internet, or like using the internet in your business because it's a farm business that's like, you know, supposed to be sustainable, or it comes from this ideological thinking of what either it used to be, or could be, or should be, or is this whole earthy thing, is just, I wouldn't personally, I mean, it's just ideological to me. That's the other thing. Always be more practical than you are ideological. So practical things, using salvage tarps. Practical things, using tunnels. Practical things, in my mind, putting things on social media for people to see, because most people use social media. It's more practical to get your products into a place consistently every week to replace the conventional means of producing it. So salad mix is easy for that. So salad mix every week somewhere, replace that part of the conventional thing where you can, and then where you can't, like maybe like chicken wings, like there's no way you can beat big chicken houses, that's a whole different thing. But those things are practical and work and are easier to implement into your business than, you know, saying super ideological as if all your customers understand it. And I don't think that they do, and a lot of times I don't think that they really care. They just want good, consistent products that they can trust. And so, yeah, technology matters. Hopefully this would build trust in the customer if they're watching it, because now they get to see like the way that I'm thinking about it behind just being at the market, growing stuff and selling it. And yeah, and that could be completely wrong. So it also brings up another thing that I'm gonna end this video with, because we got stuff to do and friends coming for dinner and stuff. So I was listening to this podcast yesterday. This guy was talking about infinite games and finite games, and he was saying that business is an infinite game. So what he means is there is no end. Like farming is an infinite game. Like you never hit a point where you're like, I'm a good farmer, or I'm a successful farmer or grower or whatever. Like you just adapt and advance along the way. There's no end. So that's the cool point. And then when you realize that, the reality sets in that it's not about getting to a certain point. It's about always advancing and moving with the times, keeping things rolling, staying relevant, keeping this whole thing of small ag relevant, enjoying the process and not the whatever said finish line may be, enjoying your journey on the whole thing. Alright, yeah guys, thanks for watching that one. If you watched it all the way through, thank you. I'll be making more videos. It's just the point of right now, coming from last season, doing markets over the winter and then starting seeds for the spring, prepping things for the spring, and trying to get caught up on all the stuff that I'm behind on because I couldn't do anything because of my back, and then still trying to learn new things. It's a lot at once, but I hope this brought value to people. Those points are things I spent a good deal of time thinking about them, and what I would have liked to hear a year ago on what to focus on or think about getting into it with the intent of making it an actual business. So anyways, thanks, appreciate it.